I was kind of wasting time just watching this fat fuck play Overwatch. Now for the main one, the Charlie Kirk crash out stream.
Well, good evening, everybody. Yeah, I imagine some of you are sick of hearing about this conversation we're going to have tonight, but I frankly don't care.
It's a conversation we gotta have.
Care. We need to talk about this. It needs to be the most obnoxiously loud thing that you hear on social media for the next however long it takes until the root problem of what happened today changes.
It's all important. We can't be quiet about this. This is gonna destroy our
I was on my way home
nation.
from work today when I found
We're in November. Nothing happened.
out, and it was actually my grandma. I hadn't been on. I hadn't been on social media. Eventually I'll tell you guys what I do for work, but not right now.
Not right now. There's more
Can't really be
important
on
things
social
to
media
talk
for
about.
what I do. And my grandma had texted me, and I let the car read out the text, and she told me, and she kind of referred to him. She obviously doesn't know. My grandma doesn't spend any time on social media. When she said Charlie Kirk had been assassinated, it didn't even... Honestly, I figured it was AI. I love my grandma to pieces, but again, she's not on social media a lot. I don't think she fully grasps the capability of AI. She knows it's a problem, but she doesn't understand the depth of capability. And if you're any of these, I'm gonna say it straight up, if you're any of these fucking losers,
These fucking losers.
good riddance, I am convinced there is nothing that can change you except Christ.
What is fucking nasty
Stay out
ass
of my
fucking
chat.
Jesus shirt?
You will be banned so fast you won't even know what to think.
Get out of my chat.
I have zero tolerance for the bullshit from you guys. None. And I'm gonna speak real good.
And he looks at the fucking. He looks at the camera. I have no tolerance for you fucking losers. I'm gonna ban you from the chat, and I'm gonna stare angrily at the camera. Are you scared? You guys killed Charlie Kirk. It's all fucking pathetic.
Any of you who think that what happened today is in any way justified, you can fuck right off. Find somewhere else to be.
You can fuck right off.
Go somewhere else. You are not welcome here. Period. End of story. I'm done being quiet.
Oh no! Oh no! Gamin4hope. Gamin4hope is speaking out. Holy shit, bro! The left is over. It's over, bro. Gamin4hope. He's gonna bring Christ back to the nation. Back to its values.
I'm done hiding and trying to be kind. There is a point that no matter what side of the political aisle you land on, you should not be okay with this. In no world is this justified.
Guys, Gamin4hope is bringing out a lot of brave takes, guys. Assassinating someone is not okay. Well, assassinating like like just like some fucking pundit, some fucking fat loser that goes to college campuses.
No, world. I would be saying the same things if this was someone who was leaning left. It could be Charlie Kirk, but the liberal version of the guy or gal. I can promise you. I can promise you.
Good job. Good job, gamin4hope.
That I would be speaking just as loudly about that. It is not a political problem. Well, it is a political problem, but we'll get to that in a second. This is not politically justified.
So brave, so brave.
Flat out. And any of you who think it is are part of the problem. And I don't care what side of the aisle you're on.
He doesn't care. Dude, he thinks he's spinning here. He thinks it's going hard right now. That's why he's doing like these brief pauses. Cause he thinks like these like generic ass, sorry ass little lines like are having an impact on someone. No one cares. No one cares.
The stance we all need to realize, and I mean this with every fiber of my being. This may be the most important.
with every fat cell in my fat fucking body, he means
important thing I have shared apart from the gospel of Jesus Christ on my channel. And it is very simply this. We need to remember what it is to tolerate each other's differences. For some reason, tolerance has become this nasty word that makes people's skin crawl. It shouldn't.
Wow.
Tolerance is exactly what we need. Now, I'm all for not tolerating certain things, i.e., justifying someone's assassination because of their political beliefs. That should not be tolerated, and it won't be here. I can promise you that. And just remember, the FBI is very, very capable of finding you when you say stupid crap.
Dude, gamin4hope is gonna be sending the FBI. Holy shit! It is so fucking over, guys. Guys, what are we gonna do? the FBI is gonna track us down for making fun of Charlie Kirk. No. This is also like a retarded statement. There are. I'm not saying Charlie Kirk have political beliefs that deserved him to get assassinated, but there clearly are examples of why you would want to kill someone with certain views. Like if someone, like the obvious one, Hitler, it's very obvious why you would want to kill Hitler, why it would be justified. But go off, gamin4hope, go off.
Crap like that. And there's still an ongoing investigation into what happened. Who did this?
gamin4hope. It's like the FBI is gonna find the one that did it.
So I'd suggest you think very carefully about what you type on the internet right now. Even if you weren't the person, which I'm sure isn't the case. You're probably not. I doubt that the person who did this shows up in my Twitch chat, YouTube chat, or Kick chat. I guarantee you it doesn't happen. My point is, you begin to become part of the problem the moment that you say these things. Any of you that come into my stream, I'm going to restate this. That in any way justify this situation today, you are gone. There's no hesitation. I don't care if you didn't mean it or not. See you later. I don't need you here. I'd rather go back to streaming for 3 people than have any of you here. Straight up. I'm not going to tolerate it. So find somewhere else to be.
Oh no! My bad. I forgot to get scared. I forgot to get scared. My bad.
Yeah, Soren, I'm with you. No, I don't think it was either, Deaton, but this idea that we're still, like, that statement, I don't remember Charlie Kirk being a very tolerant person himself, is very vaguely, this isn't at you, Deaton, please don't take this the wrong way. This is what this side of the aisle has become very good at doing. And by the way, I'll be bold and say it's both sides of the aisle, and be fair.
Wow.
We've become very good at speaking in vague terms, so that if someone starts calling us on something, we can go, oh, I didn't mean it like that. Yes, the hell you did. Don't be a coward. Own it. Say it with your chest or don't say it at all. And welcome to the internet, because the internet is what allows people to say stupid crap like that. And unfortunately, well-meaning people like Deedon or even myself for a long time would completely move forward and say, they probably didn't mean it like that. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm done treating anybody like that. If you look like you are meaning, or even slightly close to meaning, anything ill about this situation, you are gone, and there will not be any coming back.
Dude, gamin4hope, what happened to being tolerant? gamin4hope, I thought there was a problem. I thought we were supposed to be tolerant of different views. What's going on, gaming?
There's no unban me request for these. Trust me. Be the easiest shutdown you've ever had in your life. What we need right now is we need all sides of the political spectrum.
Guys, we need everyone to come together.
Because right now I'm so angry, I'm going to say something stupid if I'm not careful. We need all sides of the political spectrum to shut up and focus on tolerating each other again. The fact that we are justifying, and I mean we as a collective of society, are in any way justifying political violence to the extent, especially, of straight up assassinating someone you disagree with, I'm convinced you're not human. You will hear this many, 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 many times. Today, I've heard it a lot. That man is a fucking father.
He's a fucking
married,
father,
man. You know his wife and kids were there?
He's about to fucking cry.
Do you realize they probably watched their dad get shot? Do you know how fucking horrible that is? Really, you let that shit sink in for a second.
It would be awful. That's like some heavy aura loss. All right, if I saw my dad start suddenly like squirting out blood, that'd be a heavy aura loss. I just pretend, that's not my dad. That's not my dad. That aura loss, that shit isn't associated to me. Nah.
You think about that before any of you open your fucking mouths.
Bro, he thinks he's going hard.
All this has done for me is piss me off. Not at the left. I want to be clear. You are welcome to believe anything you want to believe in your life. That's fine. That is still going to continue to be my way of handling things. But I am telling you right now, there is no justifying this.
So brave.
There's a mod in the Twitch chat that wants to handle B7. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Mods, ban that guy.
Otherwise, I would have taken care of it a lot faster. But I do appreciate it. I'm not upset with any of you for it. What a loser. Straight up. Joking about this is insane.
What? P7 was making a joke. He's a loser. I'm the banner for my chat as well. Don't worry, gamin4hope. I'll ban B7 as well.
Sir Axe, I appreciate you bringing in some cheerful responses. I do. I really do appreciate it. Jelzy over on YouTube said, from England, actually heartbroken about the news, and the video was disgusting, and the people who are celebrating it need a long, hard reality checkup. Anybody celebrating it needs to be fucking imprisoned.
Whoa! Whoa!
Not killed. Notice I didn't say killed. I said imprisoned.
Oh. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Thank God. All right. gamin4hope doesn't want me dead. gamin4hope just wants me. I'm saying me like I was celebrating this shit. But he doesn't care. He doesn't care about like the difference between like joking about it and celebrating it. He probably does also want people joking about it to be fucking imprisoned as well.
They deserve to live out the rest of their life in an insane
For
asylum
life,
because I'm convinced they are not human.
gamin4hope wants to round everyone out. Put them in camps.
I don't have any... I'm not going to get into the Jeffrey Epstein thing. I don't know enough about it to speak on it. And it's not what I want for tonight's focus to be. So while I appreciate that you were bold enough to ask, I will not be speaking on that at any point.
No. Dude, I was really hoping forward to hearing about gamin4hope's opinion on Jeffrey Epstein. I feel like that could change the world.
Not because I believe it's not a problem.
If gamin4hope said the Epstein files shouldn't be released, then they shouldn't be released. All right.
Problem, because it is. Regardless of what actually happened, it is a problem. But because I don't know enough and I'm not educated enough in the situation to speak into it. Hope that's fair. We really need to get to the place where we tolerate each other again. That is what this community has been built.
We need to tolerate each other again. But if you joke about Charlie Kirk, you should be put into the same asylum for life.
Built on apart from my faith. I talk about my faith a lot. I really do. And I live it out to the best of my ability. I'm not perfect. God knows I'm not perfect. But apart from my faith,
come on, gamin4hope.
Built on.
Teach us. give us the teachings of God. Give us the teachings of Christ.
Even have it on a freaking t-shirt. Life is difficult. Don't do it alone. Life is way too hard to go through alone. Way too hard.
Oh, he's talking about his gay ass fucking his embarrassing ass fucking graphic tee. I think he recently wrote about it. I mean, not he recently worn it in his fucking in his rage bait video.
After rage bait is everywhere, and it's
He's talking about this fucking shirt.
Unfortunately, even further, negative emotions are way more.
Oh, it's fucking embarrassing ass. Life is difficult. Don't do it alone.
But if you spend your entire life ostracizing yourself from people you don't agree with, you will spend your life alone. Because every single person you speak to, you will find at least one thing, minimum, that you disagree with.
That's crazy. That's crazy, chat.
Even my wife, we're married. Happily married. I mean, I'm sure I give her too much shit sometimes, but like, we're married, and happily so.
Congrats, man. Congrats on
I guarantee
your
you
fat
there are
wife.
things we don't
Congrats,
agree on.
man.
It can be as small as the method in which I load the dishwasher. Or it can be as big as a way we communicate. And guess what? The way that we handle that is speaking to each other with kindness, respect, and love.
I'm learning so much
and
right now.
out of those things,
comment if you're learning as well.
Where we find a place that we can find a middle ground and either find a compromise, or after having a very educated and real conversation, one of us changes their minds. Changing your mind in 2025? Yeah, it's still fucking possible. Just open your brain up for 2 damn seconds. It's really not hard. I know. Wild concept. Over on YouTube, Nizam, I hope I'm saying your name right, please forgive me if I'm wrong, said, man, but honestly, it was brutal. I was casually watching YouTube, and my brother showed me the video on X, and first I thought it was AI. I could not believe it. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I've seen the actual, I'm going to give you a very clear warning. If you have not seen some graphic shit in your life, do not look up the video.
Wow, that's crazy.
Of when
That's
he was
crazy.
shot. Because this was done in front of a live audience where cameras were rolling, it's there. Ethan, we'll get to that in a bit, homie. It's clearly not the topic right now. Try and feel out the room a little bit. I don't think you're being toxic. Just asking you to kind of fill it out before you're asking ignorant stuff like that. Okay, we're talking about a real conversation that needs to happen right now. Way more important than anything going on. Okay, you're good. Again, I didn't see you as being a toxic prick. I'm just saying, feel the room. Realize that what we're talking about is not Overwatch. Does that make sense?
guys, we gotta take a break from Overwatch.
If you guys have not seen,
we gotta take a break from the plat gameplay.
In the video of it happening, I really want to caution you from going and looking. Okay, it is truly gruesome. Okay,
Guys, someone getting shot. Someone getting shot. It's graphic. Holy shit, guys! It's not like in Overwatch where there's just a tick. there's like blood and shit, guys. I didn't know. Guys, you gotta be careful.
At a stoplight. I want to be clear. I was at a stoplight. I tapped on a link from a news article I was reading about it, and it took me to a Twitter post where it was the crowd screaming and running, which I've seen countless of those, unfortunately. But my X profile is still set up to autoplay. It automatically went, and I didn't realize what I was watching at first. I thought it was truly just another clip of his, and then he got shot. I won't describe what I saw. Okay? But I can't unsee it now. And for me...
Guys, we gotta get gamin4hope a therapist. Guys, the Charlie Kirk shooting has traumatized gamin4hope. This is awful news. We gotta get we gotta get him a therapist ASAP.
As much as I wish I hadn't seen it, in some ways I'm glad I did. Because it woke me the fuck up and made me realize I gotta do something about this.
Man, it was a reality check for gaming.
Saying I'm going to get revenge or seek out this person or even remotely. I want to be so clear. I am not suggesting that anyone or that I will commit acts of violence. I am very specifically speaking against that right now.
He's just advocating for anyone celebrating or joking about the Charlie Kirk situation to be in prison for life.
The violence has to stop. These passive-aggressive ass comments that I say, you guys, it's probably none of you, that people are leaving underneath the videos about this from all sides of this is disgusting. There are some people who are outright saying this is about time and all that stuff. Those people need to be locked up in an asylum. Straight up. I'm not joking. Not even a tiny bit of me is remote. I will say it again. If you are one of these ignorant morons that is saying he had it coming, or he deserved this, or I'm glad this happened, you deserve to be in an asylum for the rest of your godforsaken life.
Oh,
I hope while you're in
holy
prison you
shit.
find Jesus, because otherwise you're going straight to hell. I'm straight up. I'm so sick of the division. I'm so sick of the political violence that is somehow justified because someone, God forbid, disagrees with you. The thing that pisses me off the most about this, in the specific sense of Charlie, Charlie was well known for his ability to sit
To
in rooms
glaze Israel. Well known for his ability to glaze Israel.
full of people and across the table from someone who vehemently disagrees with him and have open dialogue. By the way, that is why when someone on the YouTube chat said, I don't remember Charlie being particularly tolerant, that's how I know you're just an ignorant moron. Straight up. You are. And I'll say it again. You're an ignorant freaking moron.
And you should go to jail.
That was his whole thing. Was the ability to speak and have conversation with someone who completely and vehemently disagrees with you and do it in a respectful way. Now, did he have moments? Of course he did. He's a freaking human being. Of course he had moments.
Wow. Only Charlie Kirk can have moments, you know. Only Charlie Kirk can have errors, and not deserve to be sent to jail for life. Only Charlie.
I know I'm going on about this, but I need to get this off my chest because this is getting out of hand at this point. I want to read through some of the chat messages. Jelzy, I've not been intentionally ignoring your message about the tweet. If you can DM me, or if someone can DM me this tweet from, someone said it was Hazard. I don't know if it's the person who voiced Hazard in Overwatch or what. But if there's something that was tweeted, I think I saw Samito retweet it. I think it's that one, but I didn't really look at the original tweet. I didn't have time. So if you have it, that would be a great time to send that to me. Just DM it. Don't put it in the chats. Chats will it'll clear you out and like time you out. So don't do that. But whisper it to me on Twitch. Throw it to me over on Discord. Let me know where you send it so I can go look for it. 'Cause I'm happy to look at it. Have a real conversation about it. I was just trying to deal with my initial thoughts before we opened up any other bags of worms. It's crazy how Trump would have nearly suffered the same fate, but by God's will he survived and showed true bravery, one of the greatest presidents of all time. I mean, he's got his flaws too, but I'm with you. Okay? And again, I'm not saying that his flaws justify it.
You know, Trump has some flaws, but I'm so glad. I'm so glad God saved our glorious leader.
Action. What appalled me with his was that, again, it's the same baseline, right? And again, I'm not making it a political thing as far as like whether or not it was one side of the aisle or not. That's not what I'm getting after here. Okay, I don't want to get into that. That's not what I'm trying to do at all. What I'm saying is that someone disagreed with Trump so vehemently that they seriously, like, he disagreed with him so vehemently that they tried to kill him. That person has since been released, Rachel. I looked that up just before stream. The director of the FBI actually put that out. So I can say that with confidence. What I read was that it is not the person. Yeah, it was not the right person. He should not have ooh, this is a good one. I just saw a really good tweet. We're going to talk about that too. This is an important one. Anybody sending me that tweet? I can try and find it on Samito, worst case.
All right, Gaming.
Deaton, I appreciate that.
Anything else to
message
say?
you sent me, by the way. You're right. He deleted it? Good. He made a mistake. He probably didn't delete it because he made a mistake, but he deleted it, which was a good call. I want to see...
Smoking
Wow.
on Charlie Kirk.
Okay, that's actually a really big... I really wish he had left up his original retweet because I remember reading it. Let me read through some of the things you guys have said here. Hold on just a minute. And then we'll look at the tweet because Jelzy was kind enough to send me the screenshot. What do I think will happen from this? I think that Asman actually had a really good take on this. I hate that he's probably right, but I think it's true. For a long time, the political right side of the aisle has largely turned the other cheek.
Yeah, and they turned the other cheek. You know, when Biden won the election, you know, they in 2020 when Biden won the election in 2020, you know, they were like, oh well, you know, that's democracy. You know, and stayed home. They didn't like send out fake electorates. They didn't storm the Capitol. You know, the right, you know, turned the other cheek and stayed home.
Elijah, I think you're, by the way, just to be clear, Elijah is not actually saying that. They're quoting the tweet, just to be super clear. But because I don't want any of my mods to accidentally ban you thinking that you're saying that yourself. That is, I think, in fact, the actual Twitter post. We're going to get there in a minute. There's a conspiracy that... Oh my gosh, I was responding to Jab's message. I don't like that this multi-chat that I have just automatically scrolls down. It drives me nuts. What I think will happen from this is that the political right, like I was saying, they're going to stop tolerating it. And I think, unfortunately, and I do mean unfortunately, I think it's not the last one we're going to see. And I'm not saying that. I really want to be clear. I am not indicating that I will be participating in any of it. I want to be so clear on that. I do not support acts of violence against people or even for gamin4hope or for people you disagree with. It doesn't matter.
same here, gamin4hope. Here at Ricky Live, we also don't support
but I do
political
not think this is the last one we
assassination.
will see. And I don't think it'll just be the liberal side of the aisle now. I think it's about to become a lot worse. You have to realize how heavily influential Charlie was. Crazy. How are you handling the news? Are you okay? No, I'm pissed.
No, I'm not
pissed
okay.
We will get to the Connor McLeod Street tweet in just a minute. I'm just trying to catch up. Okay, guys?
Bro, who the fuck is Connor McLeod?
Let's see. I'm just going to have to start going to the individual chats at this point. Why am I not seeing... How long do I think it'll be before they find him? Oh, I don't think it'll be long. I think that whoever this is severely underestimates the ability of the FBI. There was a conspiracy...
Well, it did take a long ass time. And the sorry ass FBI did not find his ass. Alright, his father turned his son in.
About Trump's shooter that he used to be in a black...
the FBI didn't even have a clue who to look for.
BlackRock commercial a long time ago, and if you've done your research, we know that BlackRock is a powerful entity. Yes, I don't think that's conspiracy. He was literally in it. He was literally in it, so... Yeah, I agree with what Jelzy said, too. Do not look up the video of the assassination unless you are very mature. It is incredibly gut-wrenching. You will not be able to unsee it. If you guys really want to make a difference, anyone in your lives that you know who is celebrating this in any way should be completely shunned. Yeah, kick them out of your life. You don't need that kind of negativity. Straight up, you don't need that kind of negativity. Yeah, I agree. And that's the blatant, or as you guys see him in chat over on YouTube, Corndog Kid said, once Cliff Neckley goes, the West will fall and fall fast. I really do believe that there is an attack on conservative Christianity right now.
Holy shit.
I really do believe that. I've believed that for a while. That's my personal belief. You can disagree with me. I don't care. That is my belief.
What should be done,
Gamin4hope?
Gamin4hope?
People like him and Bryce are probably some of the people that we need to be careful of the most. Yeah, I'm with you, Soren. No. You're good, Chelsea. You're not causing any problems. You're fine. Over on Twitch, I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit, guys. Please forgive me. I'm going to call you Volo. I hope that's okay. Without knowing anything beforehand, does this change your stance on who should have ownership of guns in the U.S.? Comes from a place of genuine curiosity, as over here in the U.K., it's a bit of an unknown issue. No, it doesn't change my gun stance. If anything, it makes me more pro-gun than ever. Straight up. The reality, and this is, I don't care. I don't care if I lose followers over this. I don't care if we rekindle the flames of my haters. I don't care at this point. The bad guys can always get guns. Making laws about it doesn't stop them. The only people that get stopped by increasing the laws about gun ownership are the good guys. Because the bad guys already don't care about the laws, so they aren't going to start suddenly following it. They aren't going to be like, I'd really like to go do this horrible crime, but I'm going to need a gun. Well, there's a law that says I can't own one.
What a smart guy.
Guess I won't have one.
I mean,
that's not how this works.
Gamin4hope is such a smart fella.
What a wild statement. Christians always want to act like they're being persecuted in a country where our president is pushing Christian nationalism. If that's what you truly believe, see you later. You are not paying attention. I am convinced that your IQ is low enough that I'm surprised you're breathing.
What? Hey man, I thought we were supposed to be tolerant of other opinions.
I think that's insane. Just because he's allowed things that are Christian leaning for the longest time when they've been pushed out of places does not mean that he's pushing for Christian nationalism. And if you really believe that, you need to quit watching MSNBC 24/7. And by the way, I'd say the same thing to someone who goes to the other side of the conversation, right? The right wing that watches Fox News all day long is a problem. Okay?
Oh, guys, both sides are the problem.
I disagree. Speak to them and tell them what they have done is wrong. Don't kick them out of your life. You need to find it in your heart to forgive them and help them to find a better place. Yeah, I think there's a balance, but I do think that Soren's point is very valid. How are my feelings? Honestly, I'm pissed off. I'm ready to be every part of the change I can be. And if that means I use my platform and lose followers over it, I don't care. I really don't give a shit at this point. I'm done.
Gamin4hope is out here to change the world.
Violence needs to end. It needs to end. And it needs to end now. Because if we continue down this road, it only gets worse. It does not get better. I promise you. It does not get better. History will repeat itself. Asheo? I don't know how to say your name. I have no idea. Please forgive me for probably butchering your name. But this person asked, may I ask if you agree, disagree with Charlie? I'm not attempting to incite conflict, but only want to hear your opinion. I don't have an opinion of everything he said, because I haven't heard everything he said. Flat out.
Shit. I didn't hear that part of the chat.
There are things I'm sure I agree with him on, and there are things that I'm sure I disagree with him on, and that's okay.
What a fucking coward.
Not entirely true if you look at other countries, but other countries outright ban guns, and the other thing you have to keep in mind, this really bothers me, and please understand, I actually think this is a fairly intellectually based argument for a lot of people, but when you really look at it for what it is, it falls apart pretty quickly. When people say, because a couple of people have brought up well, why isn't this a problem in every other country? Because the other countries that are mostly referenced ban guns entirely. The United States and the government format that we have is built on the idea that the people should resist their government at the point at which their government becomes a problem. That's a very, very short and sweet summary of the American concept. What I want to carefully say here,
All right, full brain
that I
power
think
is being used here.
a lot of people don't understand that if you take guns from the United States citizens, the citizens rebel. I'm not suggesting that's what should happen. But there's also a cultural problem, which is the bigger point I want to make. There is a cultural problem in the United States. It is not a gun problem. It is a cultural problem.
Well, guys, you know, people kill people, and guns don't kill people. People kill people.
We'll get to that in a minute. I believe there is a country that has a very open gun policy, and I feel like it's either Switzerland. I think it is Switzerland. Could be wrong. There is a country that has a very open gun policy, and they don't have near the crime we do. Why is that? Because our culture is screwed up. We've gone so far into justifying the murder of people we disagree with that we simply use the tools that we have and do it. It's horrible. Straight up, it's awful. I'm from the UK, but I've always wanted to visit America one day for a holiday, specifically LA. After watching so many movies, it's like a dream to me, and I heard Americans are very nice people. Don't go to LA if you want nice people. Tell you that. Been to Los Angeles myself, and it is not where you would find the nicest
Bro, the guy that shot Kirk didn't come out of LA.
part of America. How many shootings have been prevented by good guys with guns? Do I have the statistics on that? No, but I know there are some. Do you not think that there would at least be less shootings and lives lost if guns were banned? No, not in the United States, because there is a cultural problem, not a gun problem. I maintain that very, very, very firmly. Not Switzerland. Ah, I was right. Arn, thank you. That's crazy. I was literally just thinking about that. They have an open gun policy, and they have basically no problems with violence like this. Agreed. It's because we have a cultural problem. It is a cultural issue. Straight up. Didn't they end up banning guns after the mosque shooting that happened a while back? I think it was a... I actually don't know. I'm not familiar with that. I won't speak into that. I think if you're going to have a weapon that can kill a human, you should have to take some mental health test. I'm open to that. Even as a very pro-gun guy, I'm open to that. I am open to that. Completely. We have to be very careful with how we do that, but I think that there is a very reasonable statement there. 100%, I'm going to say that.
Crazy shit, gaming.
That is what we're talking about, Bings. Angus over on YouTube said, Australia has not banned guns outright, although after the Port Arthur massacre, we had a buyback of certain types of guns and have seen way less violence overall. Again, cultural. Love that for you guys, though. Yeah, if you guys have such a large population, would be interesting to see similar methods trialed. I'd be curious to see it as well, but I don't think it'll ever happen. Your country is so polarized, my friend. Completely agree. Your politics are so far right as a whole as well. That I completely disagree with. There is extreme right and extreme left very evenly in this country. Very evenly. I do not think there is more of one or the other. I don't. This is true of the culture part because Switzerland has so many guns and doesn't have problems. Exactly. How do you change the culture then? You become the difference you want to see in the world. It's that simple. It's that simple.
Guys,
I had the choice to go to the USA for university, but all I hear from the news is guns, 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 so I got scared and dodged. Can't really blame you.
Alright, we're gonna speed this up. We're gonna speed this up.
Can I ask
getting
your
boring
stance
as
on
a...
Palestine? You can ask, but I won't share it. People use, yep, I'm with you. Well, isn't the difference that in the U.S. you don't need a license to buy a weapon, but you do in Switzerland? I actually don't know the difference there as far as what's required in Switzerland. I also know that in the U.S. you do have to clear a background check. I know that for sure. And the laws vary from state to state as far as additional layers, like California, Washington, Oregon are very, 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 very liberal-leaning gun right states, so there's a lot more restrictions on buying guns and even magazine capacities and that kind of stuff. And again, I'm not here to argue whether or not I think they're right or wrong. I'm not going to go into that tonight. That's not the point. I don't want to turn the horrible tragedy today into a gun debate because I don't think that's what's needed. I think that we need to change culture. The news media only pushing out negativity scared. That's true. That's true. What care would have to be had in terms of mental health evaluation before purchasing firearms? A great question. By the way, great to see you back, homie. I would say, for me, the balance is mental health is still a fairly new science. I think we can all agree on that. I'm not saying that it's unneeded, nor am I even advocating against its necessity. I want to be very clear on that. I have had therapy that I've gone through multiple times throughout my life. Went through a divorce as a kid, went to therapy. Went through a season I didn't even really talk about on stream last year, where I knew I needed therapy. So I went and got therapy. I'm a very big mental health guy, I promise you. I'm very, very large in advocacy of that. The problem is, there isn't really, as far as I'm aware, I'll say it that way, there isn't really a baseline understanding of mental health. And evaluating someone on the basis of mental health is not as simple as filling out a multiple choice questionnaire. This would require, in my mind, some kind of agency, whether government or otherwise. I would think it would have to be government affiliated at least, that has licensed psychologists that can, in essence, diagnose and determine whether you have a mental. You have to be cautious in developing that. I think that there is room for error, and I think it's room for an opportunity to have that conversation. I think that there's, like I said. Yep. See you later, man. Your ignorance is very, very apparent at this point. You came in rage baiting, and then you just said some of the most ignorant shit I've seen so far. So, see you later, bud. Do you think the USA will do a protest like Britain is doing on the 13th of September? Britain is raising our culture and protesting against the illegal immigration. In fact, English people are second. I don't know. I don't know anything about that, so I can't really speak to that. Do you think the culture is a reflection of the division weaponized by all political parties alike? I believe they are a very big part of it, yes. And I want to speak very clearly. This is not a partisan issue. Both sides of the political aisle in the United States on the extreme end.
So brave, gay man.
Straight up. No worries, honey, I love you. Do you think the nature of the current political climate should be changed? It is an issue at the moment on the left and right. Yes, I do believe it needs to be changed. I believe, and I'm going to be honest with you, I was so glad that I wasn't the only one that thought this. As much as Asmongold is very controversial, I do appreciate what he put out in the video today. If you are one of the extreme sides of either side of the aisle, my opinion, I will not speak for him, my opinion is that you should be locked up in an asylum. You are not a net positive for society, period, end of story, full stop. That is what I would change. If you take out the very loud but small minority, of the extreme ends of both sides of the political spectrum, that's it.
All right. Okay, gamin4hope. Gamin4hope is just openly saying, if you have politics I don't like that are too extreme, you should be in jail. But he's saying we need guns in case the government overreaches. The government jailing people over having extreme views. That isn't overreaching according to gamin4hope. Good one.
Dean, I appreciate the message. I am very, very, very clear. And I'm gonna be even more bold on this. You strike while the iron's hot. The iron's hot. People are listening.
People should be jailed now. Holy shit.
Oh, my language could be better, but I think what I'm saying is legitimate. I mean, for all you know, it could have been someone who mentally stable who did this. Like, is it really about being mentally unstable? I don't think anybody's actually, maybe they are, but I don't think anybody's saying that this specific situation was caused by someone who's mentally unstable. But I will tell you, people who can do a cold-blooded murder like this are not mentally stable. Straight up. Straight up. Both sides have made everything so divisive. The rhetoric around even the events today have been horrible, agree. The left is implying he deserves it, right is implying the left is at war with them, they need to get revenge. Yeah, no, both sides, I want to be super, super clear, and I'll say it with my chest. The left that is implying, anybody who is implying, I don't really care who is associated with what side, anybody who is implying he deserved it, you are the problem, straight up. Anybody who's on the other side, who is saying and weaponizing all of those people, are also the problem. Again, this is the extreme ends of both sides of the political spectrum, but it's a very minor portion of each side. Very minor portion of each side. Yes, we are. Yes, that's what we're talking about. I think we have drifted to picking sides on concepts instead of upholding and promoting the good of humans and the planet. And while this conflict continues, societies and the planet are deteriorating. Yeah. Yes. What happened to just caring about the fellow human being who's next to you regardless? That wasn't that long ago. Yeah, Rexy, and by the way, I'm with you, and I'm completely, if that what you said is true, which I believe you, and I really want to be clear. Oh, can I be so clear about this? Any of you who are still watching the mainstream media need to wake up, please. I'm begging you. I am begging you. Engage the thing between your ears. You all have one. Some of us have higher intelligence than others, but anybody can realize by just using a little bit of critical thinking that the mainstream media does not care about information anymore. They haven't for a long time. They are propaganda machines continuing to peddle the same crap that they have done for a long time. Both sides of the spectrum, to be clear. Fox News is just as guilty as MSNBC or CNN. I promise you.
So
The issue is the
insightful,
minor
so
portion. Due to the
insightful.
media presence and its polarization of the political landscape of America has a louder voice. Yeah, I think you're saying the same thing I've been saying. I'm with you. 2020 and COVID-19 messed things up for sure, but it was not, I think, the cause for this. Majority of both sides agree it's an atrocity. I actually saw a clip. I don't know this person, so I want to make sure I put that big asterisk out there. One of the people who was so vehemently against everything Charlie stood for was live streaming, I believe, on TikTok. And they were clips saying, I do not understand how anybody can justify this. I never agreed with anything he said, but I would never have called for his death. That is the kind of thing we need to be hearing right now. And I told Rachel this before stream. This is something that I feel very strongly about. If you are on the political left end of the spectrum and you have been for a long time, I want to very clearly agree. I want to very clearly state, if I can get my brain to function for 2 seconds, I'm so frustrated about this. If you are part of the liberal, left-leaning side of the conversation, you have been publicly for a while, now is your opportunity to unite the country and speak out against this horrible act of violence. I strongly believe the more left-wing people that are very, very, very open about it, that post about this, that share about this, that utilize their platforms, and by the way, your platform might be your coworkers. Your coworkers and you may have gone outside the realm of HR and had a conversation about this. You really need, if you are one of these folks, and please understand we can disagree on everything, and I still appreciate you being here, thankful. You need to understand that if you are part of the left-leaning crowd, it is your time. It is your time to shine. Don't get quiet now. Get loud. Speak out against this.
Get loud.
Don't allow
Get
the
loud.
minority of your party to ruin it
Roar
for all
with
of you.
me.
Just as I don't allow the minority of our party to ruin it for us. It is okay that we don't agree with each other on anything. It's fine. I don't care. It is never okay for this to be okay. Jai, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm with you, Beans, but be cautious. When people are already hurting, saying things like that can be insensitive to a lot of people. I'm with you. I understand where you're going, and I know your heart. Just keep in mind that it's kind of like having a bedside manner. It's a similar thing, right? When someone dies and you're at they're sitting at the hospital bedside, you don't say, well, praise God, they're home. You know, maybe let things settle a little, right? Again, please don't think I'm upset with you. I'm just making sure it's something I really want to educate people on. We need to be more careful when we speak things out. To carry out this level of violence against someone you disagree with requires insane levels of mental instability, no matter what side of the political aisle you're on. If you can't agree on that statement, your opinion on politics, you go out the window. Not directed at you. No, I'm with you, Zesty. You're good. You're a homie, dude. I'm not taking anything you're saying personally, trust me. Wait, is gamin4hope a GOP voter? No, I vote based on the morals that I hold in my life. It does not matter what party people are a part of. If a liberal aligns with most of what I believe, I will vote for a liberal. I promise you. I do not care. Party affiliation does not matter to me one or the other.
That's crazy.
I
That's
completely agree. This is
crazy,
exactly the take we
gaming.
need to hear more often. Tash, can I just tell you, you typing that and sending that is the most refreshing shit I've seen since my life. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart. And we can talk about what you said secondarily, because I think there's still some ignorance on that. But I do think that this statement right here, it's extremely sad and tragic. Nobody should be shot over public beliefs. That needs to be the end of the conversation, by the way. Has the political ideology of the shooter been identified yet? No, not that they're actually, the shooter hasn't been identified yet. Well, no, I think this is actually a good point, because if in fact... Oh, yeah, Rexy. Unfortunately, what keep happening first Trump attempt, then the Minnesotan officials. What did I miss there? I don't know anything about that.
Oh, convenient.
Yeah.
Convenient.
What's the Connor tweet? The Connor tweet. Oh, okay, we'll get to that in a minute. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little behind on this. Dean Withers was Charlie's biggest hater, but he took to Twitter and TikTok to tell people to pray for Charlie and told people that are celebrating it that it's not okay. Praise God for Dean Withers, man. I mean that genuinely. If what you just said is true, and I'd like to believe that you're being authentic, thank God.
Fuck Dean Withers.
Truly thankful
Fuck
that someone
Dean.
with that word on the platform is willing to say it. I'm still thankful.
Withers.
That being said, he was extremely... This was the part, Tash, that I really want to caution you in saying out loud, okay? That being said, he was extremely pro-gun and said gun deaths are necessary for the Second Amendment, so he died as an indirect result of his beliefs. No. Flat out. No. He did not die as an indirect result of his beliefs. He died because some ignorant moron who was mentally unstable killed him. That's why he died. Do not try and make this a gun issue. This is not a gun issue. The gun was the tool. The issue is what was going on in that person's mind. What's my most biggest issue to voting for? I think what you're asking is what is the most important issue for me to be voting on. I'm not going to do that right now. It's not the place. I'm with you. Beans, I'm with you. And for us as Christians,
Dodging.
it's a big deal to have those kinds of moments where you're trying to kind of self-soothe and look to the word and look to God. And I'm with you.
It's so
Just be
fucking
careful saying it
pathetic.
online.
It's so fucking sorry. These are gonna come on here, be like crying, like guys, we gotta save the country, guys. If you think it's okay to shoot someone over political beliefs, I think you should be jailed. But when you ask him what are your political beliefs, you want political extremists to be jailed. So what are yours? So we know what you consider extreme. No. It's not the time. It's not the time. when asked if he agreed with Charlie Kirk, he changes it to, I don't know everything that Charlie Kirk has ever said. So I agree with some things Charlie Kirk said. Some things I don't.
Does that make sense? There's nothing wrong with what you're saying. In fact, biblically speaking, you're absolutely correct. I was just saying. Yeah, Tao came with you. Yeah, Minnesota House Speaker and her husband were assassinated. I did see that. Okay, no, I know what you're talking about. And the sad reality is it's already gone out of my brain because of how much crap happens all the time. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that has changed means. I think maybe some people caught up with you, but Sproutlight, can we not make this a? And I just said this a little bit ago, but I really want to be clear. Do not make this a gun issue. If you guys make it a gun issue here, I'm just going to ban you, and I will give you that warning once. You will not be saying here if you are going to make Charlie's death a gun issue. Yeah,
guys, don't bring up the fact that Charlie Kirk said that, you know, if we're gonna have guns, you know, we gotta accept that there's gonna be shootings. Don't bring that up. You know, I don't like that. That makes me feel bad. I'm gonna fucking ban you.
Released. The guy who was arrested by the FBI was released. He also facilitated the insurrection for what? Who are you talking about there, boss? Yeah, I'm with you, Soren. That's it. Definitely highlight.
Oh, he's gonna go. Who are you talking about? This whole stream is talking about Charlie Kirk. But I'm gonna act like I don't know who the fuck you're talking about. I'm gonna act like I don't know that Charlie Kirk bussed people. he loaded people onto buses and fucking drove them over to the fucking Capitol.
Highlights a gun issue? Just because a gun is used does not mean that it inherently highlights it. He would not be dead without the gun. There's really no way to argue against that regardless of your opinion on guns. Yes, I can and I will. Listen carefully because I'm only going to say this once. If a lunatic wanted to kill him, particularly with Charlie Kirk's method of using content and what happens and where he sits across the table from someone, it does not require a gun for him to be murdered. People stand within 15 to 20 feet of him. It does not require a gun to kill him. And if you truly believe that that is the case, I want you to understand you are gravely misinformed. The reason I asked that question was because I've already seen so many Republicans making public statements that the left needs to take responsibility for the senseless act. Yeah, no one knows, first of all. Second of all, it's not the entire left's responsibility, even if this person was a liberal. Again, this is the problem, and necessity is not the problem. This is the problem. If the ideology comes out on either side, people will then point at the entire party instead of realizing the extreme end of that party is the problem. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I know you're not agree with me. Merc, I'm with you. Asheo, if you seriously think that Charlie Kirk was part of the January 6th protest, I'm not going to call it what the media has called it. I'm sorry, you're just ignoring. You're just completely ignorant. I'm sorry. You just are. There's too much information out there for people to really still believe that. Yeah, Chief, I'm with you. The realistic.
Yeah, you know, I'm not gonna call it a riot. I'm not gonna call it an insurrection. You know, because I don't like that. You know, there's a lot of information out there. But if you ask him, if someone probably asked him, what's the information on that ban?
Good statement. They probably do, Soren, but they have to be very careful about saying that, right? Yeah, much higher probability he'd survive, though. The guy would definitely be caught, sure. But I don't think that banning guns completely gets rid of them either. That's kind of one of my baseline thoughts. Even in countries where they are outright banned, it's not impossible to get a gun there. It's just harder. That's it. Which one? Which one? Okay, Bird, this is a problem. I'm going to call you on it because you posted it on the internet. Now you're going to get lambasted for it. Bird said, I'm sad to hear about any death from gun violence. But, nope, no but. Shut the fuck up. Straight up. Anybody who can seriously say, I'm sad to hear about this but.
Gamin, what happened? I thought we were supposed to be tolerant. What the hell?
If this was anybody you actually knew, you'd care. I'll speak it boldly.
Guys, someone died. So you gotta shut up. Someone died. That's all we gotta talk about.
I don't care. I'm done. I'm so done with you guys. Those of you that actually think this way are...
Someone died. Shut up. But I can cry about how Christians are getting prosecuted in this country.
Truly the worst parts of society. I can see how it may feel hard to feel sympathetic for a man who spreads such hatred and misinformation. Nope. None of those things happened. Pretty crazy. At least in their eyes. Again. So what you're saying is it's justified for them to kill someone that they disagreed with. And what's crazier is it's not even a factual reality. It's what their opinion is. So based on their opinion of what he has said about them, it's even crazier. It's even crazier. It gets crazier the more I read your stuff. This is truly the definition of ignorance, and you are no longer in my chat. See you later. The craziest part is you just followed, like, was it 10 minutes ago? Yeah, 13 minutes ago. So you followed to send that message. See you later. It's crazy. Okay, let me read through some of these. Sorry, got off my soapbox now. I'll come down a little bit. Tash, if you're going to keep talking about, and Burke, both of you, I'm going to call you both out. Let's stop talking about gun laws. That is not what we need to focus on right now. I fell into the trap a minute ago. Can we curb that, please, both of you? If you can't, I'm going to have to ban both of you, and I don't want to do that. So please just, let's curb it.
Guys, don't talk about it.
Yeah, the one in Colorado. I heard about it, Angus, but it's unfortunately been drowned out by all this other stuff. I didn't know it was a school. I just knew there was one. Why do I care so much? Why don't you care? I'm not answering.
Yeah, I heard about it. You know, some kids got shot, but guys, Charlie Kirk. You know, this grown ass man advocated for shooting immigrants coming across the border. That the U.S. border between U.S. and Mexico, you know, they should treat it like Israel treats the border between Israel and Gaza.
Answering that question. No, this is a terrifying thought. Why don't you care? Really check yourself a little bit and think about this. Why don't you care?
And you know they should have kept them up at night. Like, oh my God, they shot Charlie Kirk. What if I'm next? What if my sorry ass also gets targeted for being Christian?
All right, look at you. You have this anonymous account that no one knows. Now you're not gonna be in my chat anymore. Say ignorant shit. You're just gone, dude. See you later. It really takes an insane person to kill another human like this, regardless of how or why. Problem today is how many of those people there exist in the world. Yep. We are going to continue to can bring up the gun issue. You're just gonna get hidden. I'm not doing this anymore, guys. I'm done tolerating it. This is the crazy thing. What William just said is so crazy because it's not true. They are real. There's a real person typing that. Whether they actually mean it or not, I wonder. If they're actually willing to say it. Yeah, Angus, I'm with you. Yeah, William, I'm truly with you. He said, these chatters are not real. How do people think like that? The reality is, people don't. Can I? Oh, I feel like I gotta say this. This is actually a really big important thing, so I'm gonna keep my language to a minimum. I do apologize for anybody I've offended with my language tonight. I don't normally let that out on stream. Honestly, I don't talk like that most of the time anyway. Honest to God, I don't. Sometimes I get to the point where there's just so much crap in the world that I feel like the way to communicate it requires a little more flavor. Okay? Please give me a little bit of grace. All right? I do apologize. Okay? I think that what I was saying at its core is fine, but maybe the language distracted. Okay? I don't know how to process this. Everything that's happened today is horrible. The actual act that happened is awful. No getting around that. The response is almost worse.
No one cares. No one cares. And nothing happened.
William said. I can't ever say your last part of your name. Every time you're here, I get a kick out of it, though, by the way. I just want you to know. Puts a smile on my face. Anybody who is on the extreme ends of the political spectrum is the problem. Let me rephrase. They're a byproduct of the problem. The real problem right now is that we have lost our ability to think for ourselves. There was a class I took in high school, and I told Rachel about this literally dozens of times.
Holy shit. Gamin4hope and went to high school. Let's all clap. Let's all clap.
It was called Current Events. It was taught by an instructor that I truly, and I mean this in the most reasonable way possible, I truly love that man. Because he taught me something that I don't think anybody even in my generation learned. This class was built on looking at current events, exploring them and conversing about them in a way that was...
Bro, this shit is on 1.75. Get your story out.
Other viewpoints on the same article. He also showed us by looking at the same story on 3 different websites. At the time, we looked at Fox, MSNBC, and CNN. At that time, CNN was glaringly independent. CNN and Reuters at the time. Fox and MSNBC were then, and are even more so now, extremes of their respective sides. MSNBC, in case you're not clear, is the political left. Fox is the political right. Extreme ends of both. Okay? Because CNN and Reuters at the time that were fairly independent, and what you could do is you could actually look at the article headlines, the same stories. You look at the headlines, and look for the keywords that they used. You would notice that Fox was very, 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 very big about supporting white people. It's a horrible thing. If there was a horrible crime that happened, it was someone who was black towards someone who was white. You would see biases on both sides to the extremes. It was horrible. What has happened is we've lost the ability to think for ourselves, so we look to whatever media source we want to use. Some people are still unaware that the mainstream media from both sides is extremely politicized and is not actually sharing facts anymore. Unfiltered facts. And they get it from there. Others, like most of my generation and younger, it's the internet. Twitter, TikTok. They listen to one person's perspective and they adopt that without using any critical thinking to figure out whether or not it's actually legitimate. We desperately need to return to a place of two things. One, question everything you see. Especially in the day and age of AI, question everything you see. Everything. Everything. In case that wasn't clear. Everything. The other part, be tolerant towards other people who disagree with you. Both of these things are equally important in the solving of the
Be tolerant, but I'm gonna ban my whole fucking chat.
core problem that is behind what happened today. If we can begin to think for ourselves, question everything. Any of you that are yapping about me playing Overwatch right now, if you seriously think a damn video game is more important than what happened today,
Guys, Charlie Kirk is bigger than Overwatch. Guys, stop talking about Overwatch.
grow up. You've just told me you're at least 12 years old mentally, even if you're not anymore. You need to realize how important this is. Overwatch does not matter by comparison. If you think MSNBC is extreme left to the same degree Fox is to the right, you should probably educate yourself a little more. Nope, I don't need to. They are exactly the same extremes, levels, on the opposite sides of the spectrum. Straight up. There is no difference.
They're the same. They're the same.
Well, clearly you're not a big fan of my content, so let me just help you and send you out. Bye. See you later. You are just factually incorrect. Okay? You're welcome to think what you want, but you're not going to think it in my chat anymore. See you later. Anybody else? Just keep going. It's a very easy ban for me, I promise you. Everybody can't care about everything at all times, and it ain't your job to educate people. Not sure what you mean, William. Question everything, ban someone. See, I'll ban you too, dude. I don't tolerate the rage bait crap here. That guy might have a heart attack if he turns on Newsmax channel for 10 minutes. True. Yeah, Chelsea, it wasn't you. Or, good job, it wasn't you. These are some of the easiest bans I've had in my life. It is unreal. DJ, please, your first time chat is just an indicator of where you're at, man. None of those things are factually correct, and I'm not going to argue with you about it. So, let's do that. Do I think Candace Owens is a good investigative journalist? I don't watch her content, I don't know anything about her. Did this person post? Yeah, Oswe. Freaking appreciate you. What a wonderful thing to say. Over on YouTube, Oswe said, education is why these things happen, or rather the lack thereof. We need to educate ourselves and not fall victim to ignorance and complacency. What happened was horrible, even if you disagree with him. One of the most based takes I've seen all day.
Wow, guys.
Alright, a couple things we're going to look at really quick, and then we might play some Overwatch, or I may actually just turn off the stream at this point. I'm not sure yet. I'm really not sure how to handle it. Samito must have removed his retweet of... Jelzy, you sent this to me a bit ago. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up on stream here. This individual, I don't know for sure. William, I appreciate where you're coming from.
Alright, fuck it. I'll read this. Alright. This person tweeted out, the world should never mourn for someone who actively makes the world a worse place, especially for the most vulnerable. It's crazy how many people think this tweet is celebrating anything that has happened. All violence is wrong. This statement is how I felt about many deaths. I will not mourn, nor will I celebrate someone's death that makes the lives harder of the most vulnerable. And then you got like, sorry faggots, saying, you're a sick fuck. Sick therapy.
There's a certain point where that's just not objectively correct. And when people post that kind of stuff, they are regurgitating what they've heard online and have failed to actually do any kind of research. Those specific claims especially are just as baseless as the claims about me that I was part of the KKK at any point in my life. It's just as baseless. So, this was really bad. I did see this. I do remember this now. This is coming from, allegedly, the voice actor for Hazard in Overwatch. Hoping this isn't the case. But it does seem that way. The world should never mourn for someone who actively makes the world a worse place, especially for the most vulnerable. It's crazy how many people think this tweet is celebrating anything that has happened. All violence is wrong. The statement is how I felt about many deaths. I will not mourn, nor will I celebrate someone's death that makes the lives harder of the most vulnerable.
What's wrong with this gamin4hope?
They should redo the voices. I mean that very genuinely. This should be just as abhorrent to them as the things that were happening at Blizzard. And they fired people over that. They need to redo this. I can guarantee you that in the Overwatch community, there are going to be people who would be happy to redo it. Yeah, probably true, Ty. That's probably true. No, it's not a crazy take. Do you want to know why it's not a crazy take that it's just as abhorrent as sexual assault? Because someone fucking died, dude.
Wow, guys. someone fucking died, dude.
I'd put that right up there with sexual assault. It's really not complicated. It's really not complicated, but here we are talking about it, apparently. That's crazy. What a wild statement. It's a tweet, though, not a murder. It's justification of that murder. And nothing less. Please.
Wait. Are you retarded, gamin4hope? Hold on. I will not mourn, nor will I celebrate someone's death. What? All violence is wrong? But gamin4hope.
Put that right up there with sexual assault.
Seeing this as
It's really not complicated.
This is what?
It's really not complicated, but here we are talking about it, apparently. That's crazy. What a wild statement. It's a tweet, though, not a murder. It's justification of that murder.
It's justification. It's a tweet that says all violence is wrong. It's justification. A tweet that all is saying, I'm not gonna feel sorry for some horrible human being. But then it clarifies and says, all violence is wrong. I'm not celebrating it, but I'm not gonna feel sorry for this fucking loser.
And nothing less. Please stop being ignorant. Or you don't need to be in my chat, no sense. God, some of you guys seriously need to use your brains. I really don't know what to say. Anyway, so Samito had originally retweeted that.
And he has a fucking Grumps tweet. It's a Grumps tweet pulled up.
That post from Connor, and basically said it wasn't okay. But, sorry for the semi-political tweet, lads. He removed it and posted this. Just saw one of the more unreal tweets from someone I've seen on this app, and I actually just want to stay out of it. That being said, this is wild. I was going to post an Overwatch 2 comeback story video that won't be going live right now. I'll see y'all on Rivals. What he had said was that the majority of the Overwatch community aligning with what Connor said was wild. Wild. Being a minority does not always make you the problem. William, please. Quit trying to say that over and over again, expecting that I'll change the thought. Okay? I've had a lot of respect for you, and that will continue. But please understand that what you're implying is that because we're the minority, we may be wrong. We may be the problem. That's not a good implication. Maybe I'm misunderstanding you. I'll say that.
You probably are, because you couldn't even read the previous fucking tweet.
I'm happy to answer it, but that's not what happened, by the way. What you're implying is so much less than what he did. Nick said, can you explain why? Okay, my bad, William. I'm sorry. That's on me. Pretty frustrated. Reading into everything I'm seeing. It's on me, man. I'll start banning you guys live. I don't even care at this point. Go ahead and clip it and ship it, boys. See ya. Anytime you say anything about this but. This guy shouldn't have died, but. There's no but. Just be gone. I don't need you here. Seriously. Samito is a sad loss to the Overwatch community. This affects Overwatch players massively. Samito is a massive name in Overwatch. Speaks his mind for the best of the game. I gotta tell you, Samito, I won't leak the DMs, but I can promise you, he was one of the very few that reached out to me during the entirety of the Overwatch community, coming against me negatively. I know that the group of people that I am meant to reach are first-person shooter gamers, and I freaking love Overwatch. You know what I hate? The loud portion of the community. And unfortunately, I don't know if there is a conservative part of the community, because they don't talk. And it's really sad. This was an interesting tweet that I saw when I opened up X. How do I put that?
Fucking Grums, hold on. The fuck is this? I'm calling on Twitch to finally put an end to tolerating calls for political violence when they come from the left. Your TOS clearly states it's not allowed. Enforce it equally or not at all.
I'm calling on Twitch to finally put an end to tolerating calls for political violence when they come from the left. I don't know if this is true. If it's been, I want to make sure I'm clear. I don't know the validity of this part of the statement. Your TOS clearly states it's not allowed. Enforce it equally or not at all. This needs to be enforced. Completely. Completely agreed. I was canceled.
How does gamin4hope feel about Grums' past? You know, Grums that used to run some fucking porn studio. How does gamin4hope feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, and it's seriously, what people will find is that you cannot cancel me. You can try your hardest, but it's not going to work, because I actually don't do anything that is outlandish. Black Talk's Widow, I'm sorry, you actually reminded me my ADD brain was in full swing. I'd like to come back to that point. Mick said, can you explain...
You can't cancel me, but he still deleted the stream.
...why that guy, or I, should care that someone died? I can happily explain that part, but I want to make sure I address each part of your statement, because there's a couple pieces to this that are very important, Mick, okay? People die all the time, including children in Gaza, completely horrible, and in Africa, completely horrible, and I don't have a big emotional mourning.
So brave, so brave gaming.
What I'm saying is he posted that, and it's rage bait at best. He was engagement baiting to the maximum, and we all know it. Straight up. There is no arguing it. Why post it otherwise? If he posted that kind of stuff regularly, and he happened to post it during this whole thing just as a re-emphasizing of what he's normally said, fair enough. That's not what's happening, and you know it. Now, why you should care that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, I want to be clear on that. Not he didn't just die, he was shot and killed. The reason that we need to care is because he was killed, very likely, on the basis of his political views. And there are people constantly inciting violence because they disagree with people politically. And even if it turns out that it wasn't a politically motivated...
Oh, inciting violence. It's so awful. It's so awful. You know, I wonder if Charlie Kirk incited violence. You know, like saying that President Biden should have been locked up. Saying that the U.S.-Mexico border should be treated the same as Israel treats the Gaza border. Yeah, man. I wonder if Charlie Kirk ever did that.
murder, which I doubt, but I could be wrong because we don't know it for a fact yet. Even if it turns out that's the case, the conversation should still be had. That is why you should care. Apollo, I appreciate where you're coming from, but I'm going to ignore your comment. Wasn't the original point about tolerance of other people and questioning everything? Yes, those are 2 points. Isn't that part of interacting faithfully with some of the perspectives in here, not saying things like some of you need to use your brains? Well, okay, but you have to understand my response of some of you needing to use your brains was not because they disagreed. It was because they were clearly rage baiting, and they were not, at the very least, they were not educated enough to have a conversation. Because their initial statements and gave a very clear indication of that.
Anything I don't like is rage bait.
I agree with your general perspective on healing at the beginning of the stream, but your conduct doesn't feel like it's aligning with the message you put out at the beginning of the stream by some of the bands in here. I appreciate you sharing what you said. You're still here for a reason. You're outright disagreeing with me, and I want you to see that you're still here. I remove people who are only in here. There were some that truly came in here just to say something stupid. And very, very or uninformed. That's all. He was a very influential person. I wouldn't say he was the most famous Trump supporter, and I don't think that's the point, but that's what the media is pushing, so that's what people see. Yeah, Polk has got a really good point. He was known for supporting freedom of speech, which is a very big thing in the U.S. And when someone like that is assassinated, it brings fear of freedom of speech. Yep. Sir Jeddick, please feel out of the room. We're not talking about Overwatch right now. If that's all you're interested in, this may not be the right stream for you. I know that normally I play a lot of Overwatch, and that's all I do.
No Overwatch.
You gotta read the room. Why did you think he was a Trump supporter then? I guess I just don't understand why that was your focal point. Because that's the only people I've seen is the media pushing that. And not just mainstream, but people in general. That was just a very interesting statement. Because I've literally not seen anybody else say that. Because that's not what Charlie is the most... Yeah, you saw it on X, which is a form of media.
Wait, is he saying Charlie Kirk wasn't a Trump supporter? You know, Charlie Kirk, that the Trump campaign said it's one of the biggest reasons why he won the election. But nah, Charlie Kirk was a MAGA.
He is a Trump supporter. That I'm not arguing. I'm just saying that that is not the thing he is most known for. I just saw your clips that you were
that is what he's known for.
Yes, I am an Overwatch player. But listen to my words. This particular stream, the one we're having tonight, is a conversation that needs to happen that is outside the scope of Overwatch. Generally speaking, I play Overwatch. You're absolutely right. That is a very important point, is that children without a father and a wife is without a husband.
That's crazy. That's crazy, chat.
Actually, RG, that's a good point. I think I just defaulted to that. Thank you for calling it out. That's on me. I don't normally do a lot of just chatting anymore, so I just leave it on Overwatch. Very good point. I appreciate the call out on that. Thank you. I'm fixing it now on all platforms. Okay, that is now resolved. Thank you. Definitely appreciated the thought there. Thank you. I didn't like him. He didn't deserve that regardless. Yeah, you don't have to like him, and I'm glad that you were reasonable enough to realize that he didn't deserve it.
So brave.
JFK Gamer is a wild name. Holy crap. Nice to see someone with a nuanced and level-headed take for once. Lots of people are jumping on the hate wagon. Yeah, on both sides. I'm sorry to see that, and I'm with you. Hope to see you cover more political issues in the future. I don't know that I will. I don't normally get political in this channel. But there is a point where I feel like it's necessary, and I think we're there. Don't think anybody thinks he deserves it. Go open up the internet for a little while. That's... Please. I'm not trying to be rude, but please. You gotta take your head out the sand, man. It's there.
You gotta educate yourself.
Again, reasonable take on the title change, too. Thank you, guys. I am sorry. I really did not plan this, obviously. Not like I really saw this one coming, so I just kind of rolled with it when I got home. And my wife had a girls' night with her family. And I decided to, I'm like, yeah, don't take kids. I'll take kids. So my stream was a little late. So I didn't have a way to really think through things and talk it out. But, so thank you for calling that out. I do appreciate it. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Alicia, maybe is how you're supposed to say your name. I hope I'm saying your name right. Please forgive me if I got it wrong. So in my opinion, when you say you are responding like that because they are clearly uneducated and or rage baiting, I feel like that alienates people who don't know information, but maybe looking to converse to expand that knowledge. It contradicts the idea of helping others to grow or understand through dialogue, especially if the message you're promoting is healing through conversation, assumes what you meant, and understanding. When you say someone's rage baiting, I feel like it shuts down the discussion and assumes bad intent. There are ways to see the bad intent, Alicia, and it's you kind of have to. So I've been streaming for like 7 years now.
You gotta see the bad intent. You gotta have the sorry ass mind that sees bad intent everywhere, and that's why he gets on. That's why when he gets on Overwatch and he gets raped in a match, it's because his teammates were rage baiting him. His teammates were throwing on purpose. Only his mind can see that his teammates are doing bad on purpose.
Okay. And it's hard to explain, but especially with all the hate that I've received in the last little while, you can tell when someone's being passive aggressive. There are certain words they will use in their messaging, and a lot of times, one of the most obvious, I'll give you an example, okay? One of the most obvious that I don't know if it's happened for sure in this one because it would just be second nature to me to ban them, is when they end with an insult. They'll go off about whatever their point is and then end with an insult. They're just rage baiting. They actually don't want to have a conversation. That's a great example. And yeah, I just banned them. There's a lot of things that I could go on about, but notice, like, you're giving a really constructive argument right now, right? For your point. And I haven't banned you, and I won't ban you because you're being reasonable, you're being respectful. That is what I expect from people. It's that simple. You can disagree with me all you want, that's okay. God, please disagree with me, it's okay.
You can disagree with me, but please don't be mean to me. It hurts my feelings.
As humans, it's impossible to agree 100% with another human. Yeah. Yeah, Poke's got some things he didn't agree with Charlie with. That's great. I have to be careful with what I say. If I read chats, people will clip in, sip shit, especially with one of the things you talked about there, Poke, so please forgive me. Alicia, I'm glad I got your name right away. Which I do feel does act against that. I like this overall combo, though, and I appreciate you allowing me to converse even if I disagree with some things. Yeah, absolutely. And those of you that are here that actually maybe saw me banning people that maybe you perceived the same way as Alicia, that maybe I just don't allow other people with dissenting opinions or different conversations, please don't see that as the case. Please don't. You're welcome to disagree with me. Just do it respectfully. And don't do it passive-aggressively, and you will hear a response. Sometimes that response will be, I don't get into that conversation on my live stream. But you'll still get a response. Coral Tank said, genuine question, but why does Charlie's death get a dedicated stream, but other ongoing atrocities, Gaza, etc., you really touch on? I actually don't touch on Gaza because I'm not educated enough on it. Okay. A lot of the reason that I don't talk about certain things, a lot of the political conversations especially, is just because I don't have enough information to make a statement. So I don't. The reason that I'm talking about Charlie's death, and I'm not going to allow it to be considered a death. He died, obviously. It was an assassination. Period. End of story. Okay. Charlie's assassination is the byproduct of a thing that I am very passionate about.
Oh yeah, are you going to expand that
it still
thought?
Impacted me. I get to go home, hug my mom, kiss my siblings goodnight, and say I love you to my friends. Exactly. Open eye, that was exactly what it was for me. There were a few things that I felt, for sure. Initially, just confusion, hurt, and anger. And it expanded well beyond that. Yeah, it's fair, Soren. You don't know that much about Overwatch, but you still talk about that, to be fair. Brother, I have 1,000 hours in the game. I know more than some people. I'm not even gonna move. I'm gonna move right on from that statement. Wild.
Congrats, gamin4hope.
Sorry.
You know more than a bronze player. Congrats.
Yeah, the 2 lawmakers that were got shot 2 months ago were largely ignored. Yeah, I think that's horrible. Yeah, I'm with you, Colin. Thank you for sharing. We're wishing the worst. Wait, what are you talking about? I'm not sure what you mean, Angus. Yeah, he's 31. Yeah. Melissa Hortman that was murdered. Can I ask you guys? I don't know. I'm curious the political affiliation. And there's a reason I'm asking it. Because, and I'll tell you what it is before you even answer it. I won't look at the screen. I'll even minimize it, alright? The reason that I'm asking is purely because I try my hardest to not put myself in an echo chamber. I'm not good at it. Just as guilty as all of us of accidentally or intentionally curating our algorithms to only give us what we actually want to hear. If Melissa Hartman was a left-leaning individual, it is very possible that whether intentionally or not, I kept that information away from my ears. And that is a part of ignorance for me. And if I need to adjust something, I need to adjust something. I'm human too. Maybe I need to go educate myself a bit more on that. Maybe I need to understand a little bit more. Because it is an area that I am truly passionate about. That said, anybody know? I can go look it up too.
Alright, we're getting live research from gamin4hope.
Nobody knows who she was. Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah. That said, you don't have a ton of conscious, intentional choice over your algorithm. To a large degree, that's true, but it's also not. I respect the man who goes out and gives everyone a voice and a chance to speak freely and debate. People who are insensitive, they will dance and are celebrating. Yeah. She was a Democrat. Seeing Libertarian and Democrat, that's juxtaposed to each other. Maybe that might have been in response to something else. Okay, Poke just shared likely what was the headline. June 14th of this year, Hortman, her husband, and their golden retriever Gilbert were shot and killed. The dog was shot? What the Okay. By a man impersonating a police officer. I do remember seeing this. Another lawmaker, John Hoffman, and his wife were shot earlier that night by the same man. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz said the shooting appeared to be a politically motivated assassination and issued a proclamation that flags at all state buildings should be flown at half-staff. I apologize on my part for ignorance on that, guys. I did not know. I never understood it to be a politically motivated kill or assassination attempt. Sir, yeah, I'm gonna take you out of the chat, man. If you're gonna make, there's an example, by the way, for those of you that want to know. It is horrible that so many people are celebrating political violence. You have me in the first half, and in the second half, you lose me. The people are glorifying a disgusting white supremacist. Please tell me you are not informed without telling me you're not informed. And it is willful at that point. I will ban you, and I will see you later.
You pissed me off, so you're banned.
Cookie, I hope you're streaming well. 707 said, respectfully, I didn't have any bad intent when I spoke, okay? But notice you're still here. Notice you're still here, okay? I'm just of the opinion that you can't compel people to feel a certain way about anything as much as we think they should care about something. I also feel frustrated when people act in a way that shows they don't care about senseless ongoing violence. I still think it's difficult to force my will onto others even if I think that it's what's right. You can't force your will onto others, but you can share your thoughts like you are now in the hopes that someone listens and changes their thoughts. That's simple.
We're gonna finish this vlog. We're gonna finish this vlog today.
A personal record of their inner thoughts. So as much as I think it's not necessary for people to express what they don't think people should be asking for sympathy. Let's see. They don't think people should be asking for sympathy. I similarly don't agree with compelling people to be sympathetic when they aren't. Outright postings. I think this is my problem. 707. What you've ignored one of my statements. What that person tweeted was engagement bait central. Flat out, no arguing it. It is objectively what that person was doing. And then to later try to backtrack it so much so that he removed the tweet. He knew what he was doing. And I'm sorry, I cannot just allow the idea that it was an accident or that it was just part of what's considered normalized society. I can't do it. I cannot allow for that. There is no factual basis for that. That's all. And that's where I'm at. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, William. Poke over on Twitch said earlier, and I'm sorry, I'm not looking at YouTube chat right now. I just realized I accidentally minimized the whole thing here. Yeah, Soren, I'm with you on that last part. Strongle, man, if you swear some of these folks, man. See you later. There's just so many clear rage baiters in the comments, man. That's why I'm not even responding. I'm just removing you from the chat, dude. I don't put up with it. One of the nice things that is happening from tonight is it's giving me a very clear motive to just remove people. If you're at the point where you are willfully uninformed, it's hard for me to justify keeping you here. Bro hates us YouTubians. Yeah, I do. It's obviously personal. Hey, no worries, Cookie. You're good, homie. There's a lot going on right now. You had no reason to expect it was going to be like this. It's okay. Poke said earlier on June 15th, U.S. Senator Amy, I'll try to say the last name, called Hortman's killing a politically motivated assassination and said that authorities believe Bolter was hiding somewhere in the Midwest and might still be in Minnesota. Bolter was apprehended in Sibley County after being spotted by a resident's trail camera and by drones operated by law enforcement. The capture of and charges against him were announced at a press conference held by the U.S. Attorney for the District of Minnesota. Cut you off there.
Hey, live research again.
Gotta ease up on the trigger finger. No, there's certain things that just makes it easy. I don't think I've banned one person that I immediately regretted, so. Security tool, yeah, absolutely. Mick, looks like maybe some of your messages. It may have cut you off a little bit, homie. I'm sorry. Where it started for me on my screen. Loss of life only rectifiable when it's direct. So I'm not sure what the first part of your statement is, but I can continue reading what's left that I can see, okay? For example, many presidents left and right have caused indirect death, but we seem to not care. Does it have to be direct? Curious on your perspective. You'd have to give me an example. I'm open to hearing what you have to say and happy to speak on it if I think I have enough information to share. But I don't know for sure how we'll go with that. Does that make sense? You're good, Jelly. You're good. I thought this was an Overwatch streamer. It's never been just about Overwatch. Have you seen the news out in Nepal? I have not. Sounds everybody just say they're rage baiting. Yeah, no. Definitely not what I'm doing. What's happening in Gaza is horrible, but why is it the only thing people bring up? Yeah, I've already addressed that. I don't understand enough about it. I can tell you that it's horrible, and I'm not going to continue past it. Yeah, Coral, I can respect that. It is an insane country from an inside perspective as well. Oh, I had no idea, Rexy. That's crazy. The world is understanding that there is more politically motivated assassination, and that includes the one that was nipped on Trump. These acts of violence are not human, and hopeful the chat. The true killer. Hopeful they catch the true killer, I think is what you might have been trying to say. Your peer is so good, I appreciate it. It's not conducive to his mission statement. It's pretty clear some people are just deep into the narratives, but still striving for truth. To you, maybe it is, but someone who has seen way more of this, I almost guarantee you than you have, from the perspective that I'm holding, while I am not perfect, I do know that there is... I have a little more experience, that's all. Appreciate it, Beans. I don't understand why you call me rage baiting. I don't care about enough about you to rage bait you. I'm just interested in the mindset of someone who wishes the worst but preaches righteousness. As soon as you said that, you lost me. There's a great example of rage baiting right there, in case you didn't know. Wishes the worst. Wild statement. You clearly have no idea who I am, and that's evidenced by what you said.
I don't like what you said, so
Okay,
it's rage
Poke,
bait.
this is just coming
And
through
you're
in chat. I
gone.
do not know this yet. I haven't confirmed it, but Poke has been legitimate so far, so I'd like to think this is legit. Over on Twitch, Poke said alleged shooter of Charlie Kirk has been identified as activist Michael Mallinson, a Toronto resident, as of 2023. In 2013, George Hodgkinson was charged with making a terroristic threat after sending an email offering to help place bombs near the finish line of the Salt Lake City Marathon. Zinn has been arrested and charged numerous times over the decades. Maybe I'm missing something here. Does seem like two different people. I guess the most we know for is that Charlie Kirk's murderer is some QAnon whack job who's pissed about the Epstein files, because if it's a Trump Kamala purchase, yeah, it's only gonna get worse. I agree. I don't think it'll actually. I think it's gonna get worse no matter what. I'm gonna be honest. That's my hot take. I do think it's gonna get worse no matter what.
Nothing has happened.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. MLG Tactics has got an interesting point. The FBI. I think the FBI has got 2 innocent people already. Is this the 3rd one? Please understand, when things like this happen, arrests do not indicate guilt. The one thing that I really was frustrated with from the FBI director, Cash, I think it's right. I don't remember for sure. The FBI director tweeted when they arrested the first person, and the way they phrased it was as though they caught the actual shooter and they knew it for sure, and then had to backtrack that. That was his mistake, and it is a mistake. He needed to be much more careful in how he phrased it. Chelsea, I appreciate it, but when people can say stuff like that, even if it isn't about me, right, and that's fine, right, maybe it wasn't, but that means he was implying that Charlie was the same person, and it's not debated at that point. Poke may have just baited me. Like I said, I didn't know if it was legit or not. Let's go see if there's anything new from the FBI director.
Bro, I hear you wiping all over yourself.
Okay, sorry,
What
my
the
bad.
hell?
Thank you for catching that. I think it's my bad. It's exactly what you'll see from me when I make a mistake. I'll own it. You're back in the channel on me. That's on me. I misunderstood what was going on. I misread the conversation. Completely on me.
Dude, like I got like retarded fidgets where like I fuck with like my left little earbud. But this guy is like feeling up like like his fucking hairline, and then like feeling up like all of the fat he has around like the neck bone area. That's so fucking gross.
That's completely on me, and I'll own my mistake. My bad. Yeah, I'm with you, Colin. I don't normally carry either, but this one really hit me. Yeah, Chelsea, I'm with you. It's my bad. Gotcha, Colbert. Okay. Are we going to talk about? Are we going to play Overwatch or talk about politics? Look at your message history and let's see if I. You asked about how to get girls a while back. Repeatedly asked me to duo. You asked me my penis size. We know who you are. We'll ban you. When you look at their chat history on Twitch, it's always my favorite part. It's like, okay. Those ones are super easy. No, he's getting exposed. Yeah, I know. It's my bad, guys. I'm not even kidding. It was literally what I was just reading it. Yeah, I'm with you, Sword. Angus, by the way, over on YouTube, for those of you that saw that I hid them from the channel and then found out that I was wrong, I owned it. This is what the result was. All good. I, too, am not perfect. Not a perfect human or anything. I'm so far away from this, just understanding, wondering how people react. See? Example A of me screwing up and owning it and fixing it.
We're almost done with this bullshit.
Bro. Coral Tank. Dude, I truly hope you get locked in an asylum. What an awful, shameless thing to say. DJ, I'm not sure what you're implying there. What do you say? I spaced out? I'm not even going to repeat it. I'm not going to repeat it. It was that awful. It was blatant, guys. It wasn't anything that was even hard to read into, okay? Yeah, I mean, he just... Yeah. It's literally that bad. All it did was make me replay what actually happened in my head because he tried quoting it and make fun of him in it. So just trust me when I say he needs to be gone. What a fucking loser.
So glad. I'm so glad he is rereading.
I did have a couple of my moderators reach out to me, and I really do want to shout them out. I'm not going to say their names because I don't want them to feel like I attacked them in some way. My editor reached out, and one of my moderators reached out as well. And there were a couple things I said that were insulting to other people, but I meant what I said, and I stand by it. And I appreciated them reaching out, because here's my thing. I always tell people that I don't want yes men and women in my life that'll just tell me, oh, you're doing such amazing things when I screw up regularly, okay? My point is, just because it's pointed out to me does not always mean I'm going to change it, because there's sometimes a very real reason why I say or do things a certain way. And that's really what it boils down to. That's it. Just gotta hope the Trump administration has a measured response to this. The potential ramifications following this event are huge. Completely agreed. Conservative political commentators are already calling to lock up Democrats and shut the entire party down. There's a possibility this becomes Trump's... I don't know what that term is, but I think I know where you're going just based on the way that it's phrased. Okay, yeah, I saw where you were going with that. I'll tell you that I vehemently disagree with the idea that he would want to do that. There are a lot of people that are comparing Trump to Hitler. That is...
But gamin4hope does want that. He did say earlier in the stream that if you're celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder, if you're even joking about it, you should be locked away for life.
Truly insane. But you're welcome to your opinion. And notice I haven't banned you. But referring to how the event unfolded, forgive me. It's on me. There's a lot of people that are doing that, and when you use those terms aside, that's all. Yeah, if you're gonna keep talking smack about the guy, we're just gonna have you out of the chat, man. If that's all you're here to do, that's the first thing you said. I'm done. Yeah, there's no way they're gonna shut down the Democratic Party, and they do need to stop saying it. I mean, to be clear, they shouldn't be saying it either. It's part of the problem. Yeah, it's a very ignorant comparison, Colwyn. I don't think that's what Fordo's trying to do, but I do think that there's some ignorance in that for sure. Yeah, Fordo, and by the way, I'll say out loud what he said just in case you guys are in the Twitch chat. He did say he didn't mean that Trump was literally a fascist. He was referring to how the event unfolded that preceded the Nazis taking over. So. Black Tuck's Widow, have you considered looking into the situation in Gaza? You're very clearly a guy capable of seeing both sides of the coin. I think looking into the Gaza conflict would be an eye-opener for you, applying your own critical way of thinking. I appreciate that.
gamin4hope is not capable of
that. But I will say that I look at things...
Dude, gamin4hope is why Nick Fuentes doesn't want literacy tests before you go vote.
In a very different way than I think a lot of people do, as far as where I spend my time. I try to focus on the things that I can make a difference in. And I am already passionate and fired up about what's going on right now. Right? So I talk about it. It's not just to say that, like... And again, this isn't meant to be something that... I don't know that I'm going to have the time to invest into researching that well enough, is what I would say. I wanted to think about my words. Because I have a very limited amount of time. And the things that I am passionate about, it's not that maybe I shouldn't be, I'm not arguing that, just to be so clear. What I am saying is that I only have a certain amount of time.
Dude, he has to use that time to stay in Diamond. he needs that time to bounce between Platinum and Diamond on Overwatch 2.
Today. And the amount of research that I put into things takes excessive amounts of time.
Using ChatGPT takes a long ass time, guys. We're almost there.
What do I think of this response to this so far? This is where I'll leave this tonight, okay? Because I do need to get off the stream. I think that apart from the extreme sides, both sides of the aisle, I think that this has been a really encouraging response. If you cut out all the extreme right and all the extreme left, and you focus on just the central 90 to 95% of the people in the States. I was at work when this happened. I talked to my coworkers, and several of my coworkers said essentially the same thing, and one of them, I know for sure, is very outspokenly liberal. He and I have had some very great conversations about our differences. And he flat said, he's like, this is actually horrible. This should never have happened. He's like, I hated what he stood for. I hated everything he said. But I didn't hate him enough to say this is a good idea. And I think that was such a heartwarming thing to hear from someone. And then to see the internet, it's just like, man, what the heck happened? Practical, I'm not going to get into that, and I want to encourage you not to turn this horrible tragedy into a focal point of gun conversation. There are going to be a lot of people from both sides. Just enjoying reading your comments, guys. I mean that genuinely.
Oh, 5 more minutes.
Don't make
5 more minutes. We're almost done. We're almost done.
Reinhardt, I mean this with the most respect I can. This guy came in for the first time. I banned people who were here and consistently continuing to after I asked them not to. Notice that's what I'm doing right now consistently. Asking them not to. Yeah, completely agree with you, Kelber. Black Talk's Widow said, America is the biggest funder of the genocide in Gaza. And again, it's all about how you frame it. I've seen it framed in two different ways, and I don't understand the difference because I think there's too much nuance. As a Norwegian, I would love to be able to be in the U.S. and join protests against the government. IMO American citizens have an impact I wish I could have. Well, I appreciate you sharing something that you're passionate about. And I think that there's a lot of horrible things in the world, and you have to choose the things that you want to be passionate about. Because if you're passionate about all of them, you'll be negative all the time. It creates a very jaded outlook on life. And I'm not saying you have it. I'm just saying the one thing you're passionate about is not the same thing I'm passionate about. Well, security liked the event. It was an outside event. I do know that, yeah. I'm sorry, but how is this not at least partly a gun issue? How can a person be allowed to get a gun into a college campus with a crowd that large? I'm not going to get into it. I will not allow this to become a gun-focused issue. I will not allow it.
I'm not gonna hear it. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
This is not a gun problem. The core of this is that we had someone who chose to assassinate. Right, so if they aren't the main problem, don't focus on. It's that simple. Focus on the main problem. If you yourself recognize that the main problem is not guns, let's not focus on the guns. Let's focus on the big problem. We can talk about guns too, but let's focus on the big problem first. My grandma always said it this way, and I've always loved that. Do not turn a 10% problem into a 90% problem. Fix a 90% problem first.
Oh, gamin4hope grandma is so wise.
I'm just saying, an example. Fix the bigger problem first. So, guys, I am going to get out of here. If I've offended any of you with the things that I've said, some of it I would apologize for, but most of it I wouldn't. If I have offended you, reach out. I'm happy to have a conversation with you. DM me. Discord's the best way to do it by far. I will look at my Discord DMs as much as I can. And I will keep an eye on it. Just gamin4hope, just like it is on any other platform. We'll be back to our normally scheduled content tomorrow.
He's willing to talk about it, but he deleted it and just spent the last 2 hours banning a bunch of people from his chat. But he'll respond to your Discord messages. All right. Holy shit. Chat, we're done. We're done.